Hey guys, well today I am working on upgrading my two-wheel drive Stampede. Initially I actually purchased some MIP Race Duty CVDs for this truck. Was not impressed with them at all. These are the steel ones. With the setup I'm running on this Stampede, the dog bones just kept falling out of the diff cups. I contacted MIP and they upgraded me. So these here are the X-DUTY. Let's see if I can get that in focus for you there. MIP X-DUTY CVD kit with keyed axles. So pretty happy with that. So I'm going to run through the installation of this tonight. So I'm in the process of disassembly. Got the tires and whatnot off. I'm about to start tearing it apart. I got to redo the shocks as well, so I got those pulled off. So yeah, I'll run you through the installation of this as well. Some people like to put shrink tube over the pins to keep them from falling out. I'm going to go through that as well as make sure to use thread lock everywhere. Okay, so here it is all laid out. Minus all the little goodies and stuff, and there's a lot of hardware with these, like holy, right? So you want to be really careful not to lose anything. Get a little magnetic dish like so, or something to keep them organized, because all it takes is losing a couple of these and your whole project's delayed while you're ordering parts or going to the hobby shop or whatever. So you can also find more detailed instructions if you go to the MIP website, miponline.com/MIP/instructions, and they will show you all the tips and tricks on how to do this. So I'll also give you a step-by-step as I go, and I'm going to do a couple little tricks, making sure to shrink tube the important parts, which are essentially here and here, so that the pins can't fall out. So yeah, we'll start from scratch basically. So I'm going to disassemble my truck and get ready. Okay guys, well I got everything tore apart now. About to start the installation here of my MIP X-DUTY axles. So I'll give you a little breakdown. First thing I want to say is make sure you install these the correct way. The number one mistake I see with guys when they install these CVDs on their truck is they put them upside down. You want this blind side, if you look at the drive axle, you want this side here attached to here. You want the stub axle side to this blind side. The female side goes to the diff cup side, and the reason for that is while it's running, it's going to be facing down like this, and as it telescopes up and down like that, it allows dirt and debris and oil and mud and stuff to fall out. If you have it the other way, which you can install them this way because it's reversible, right? It's just going to pack the dirt and the mud and everything in there deeper and make it so these don't function properly. They'll bind up, yada yada. So that's probably the number one rule. Make sure you orientate them correctly. So now when you start to install these, I'm going to install one entire shaft complete, and then I'll bolt it up. So when you bolt these up to the diff cup now, instead of using a screw pin, they kind of are a screw pin I guess, but MIP uses these gray ones here, so they don't actually go right through. What they do is you thread, each side is threaded instead of just the one side on a Traxxas one, and basically these little pins just sit inside the diff output, so there's no way for them to shear off as they're not going right through it. They kind of lock in on each side, which I think is a brilliant design. So now to start assembly, I'm going to start on this end and work down. So basically you have the barrel, which is this big piece here. It's only threaded on one side, so you need to make sure you know what side that is and orientate that correctly. So when you start your installation, you drop the barrel in there. Okay, so now that I have the barrel inside of the output there, I'm going to slide in this side of the shaft here, and then I'm going to slide the screw or this pin down inside. Now it does have that flat spot inside, so make sure you orientate that to the correct side. When I put in the barrel, I made sure the threaded side was facing me, so that when this goes in, it faces me. Single set screw goes in, locks this in place, and you move along. Okay, so I got one side all done up and installed, and I just thought I'd show you the breakdown here. So once I installed the pins and the barrels and such like that, always use Loctite, and I make sure, especially on this end, that you put grease up in the top here before you put the stub axle in, as this articulates quite a bit and you need some lube in there. So make sure that you keep an eye on them periodically. Spray them with some Teflon spray or something that doesn't attract a lot of dirt. I would not recommend using something like a WD-40 or something like that, as they will collect a lot of dust and stuff, which can actually make the binding and such worse. So I cut little strips of shrink tubing, heat shrink tubing, and just placed it up on both of the ends. Actually, if you look at this side, it's up on the top there as well as down here. So what this will do, in the event that one of these pins break or something, because that's usually what will happen, all the torque and stuff will snap that pin inside and then it falls out. Well, if that falls out, usually what happens is you'll lose the female side of the axle. It'll break up here and this part will fall off and you'll lose it in the dirt somewhere. Just buying these, cost 15 bucks or 20 bucks or something like that. So it's a pain in the butt. So this is one way to try and stop that. If the pin ever does break, it won't allow it to fall out, and they can keep it together. At least you'll see it. You'll know if it's broken just from inspection, right? So when you put this together now, there's two little spacers that MIP gives you. If you're confused about where those go, essentially there's a big one and a little one. The big ones actually go in between the two bearings inside your rear carriers. So if you look at the way they've got this set up here, shows it in between the two bearings. The other one's actually right on the end of this keyed axle, so it will actually slide on here, and it's actually butted into the back of that bearing. So always make sure you use your thread lock Loctite. They give you some lock nuts here. I don't know if I'd recommend using these. I like to use the serrated wheel nuts. These I find are a little bit too small, but you can always save for something. Their M4 lock nuts come in handy. And the one thing I like about the MIP is the keyed design of the axles here. This is one of the benefits to buying MIP, is they include the 12mm steel hex, where most don't. Even Techno use their plastic, and you have to buy the upgraded metal hex set if you like that. So they lock on to the keyed axle part, which is really nice. Again, use your thread lock and you're good to go. Keep an eye on the shrink tube every once in a while, and make sure, like I said earlier, to face this part down so any stuff can fall out of the female side, and every once in a while you can spray these up with like a dry graphite spray or a Teflon spray. Those are going to be your best bet. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Any questions, comments, feel free to leave them below, and we'll see you again soon.